Hello and welcome to the Property News here on Magic Bricks Now. I am Krishna Kumar. Let's take a look at the top stories that we're tracking. Mega Magic Bricks Now impact. The Maharashtra Public Works Department finally gets to work, fixes some potholes on Mumbai's Western Express Highway. However, it's not all clear just as yet. Pothole woes continue in the rest of Mumbai. After 8 extensions, Mumbai's civic body, the BMC, fails again. BMC boss Ajay Mehta raises the white flag, says nearly impossible to make Mumbai pothole-free this monsoon. Over 300 dead in flood-ravaged Bihar, Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh. Stranded citizens look up to the government, ask when will help come their way. In some partial relief coming in for motorists on Mumbai's Western Express Highway, as the Maharashtra Public Works Department has managed to fill most of the potholes on this arterial road. However, there are still some patches where roads are still rough. We have Ruchi Deshpande, who drove down the Western Express Highway today, a day after the PWD's self-imposed deadline expired. Here's what she found.
I drove down the stretch of Western Express Highway in Mumbai all the way from Bandra to Kandivali to check if the Maharashtra government had met its self-imposed deadline of filling all the potholes on this highway by the 25th of August, that was just yesterday. Now, while we did not come across any big potholes on the entire stretch of Western Express Highway, the road in most places was uneven, and that was what led to slowing down of most vehicles. And we did, however, find one or two small potholes in certain patches of the Western Express Highway. So let me just take you through what exactly I found on this highway. Well, to begin with, in the area of Santa Cruz, which is near the airport, we found that all the potholes on this stretch were filled by the Maharashtra Public Works Department. Then moving on to the airport road, the scenario was similar, where you could make out the potholes that were filled, so the vehicles did not have any real trouble navigating through the road. However, the story was different as we moved across to Andheri, where the road was pretty uneven and had a few patches of potholes. This got worse when we moved further ahead to mid-Andheri, where there was a huge patch of potholes that were not filled and had accumulated water on one of the major roads of the city. Now, moving on, we came to the RA flyover, which was ahead of Andheri, which is pretty smooth. There were no potholes filled or otherwise. However, while coming back, the same road, which is under the flyover, which is also near the RA colony, saw a bunch of potholes, which the vehicles had the most trouble navigating, and the road was smooth going ahead. Remember that the Maharashtra government has told Magic Bricks Now exclusively that they will begin re-leveling of the Western Express Highway only after the monsoons in the city get over. They have given us a date of November 2016 when they will start this work, and the end of this year, that is December 2016, is when they plan to get the entire Western Express Highway re-leveled.
However, not so good news for the rest of Mumbai. Civic body BMC has made it clear that it has no permanent solutions to the pothole menace. What's more, it has again missed its self-imposed deadline and has asked for another extension before the Ganpati festival to make Mumbai roads pothole-free. This will be the 9th time that the BMC is extending its own self-set deadline. We have Disha Shah getting us some exclusive details in this report.
Mumbai civic body BMC has missed its 8th deadline once again of, repairing and filling potholes across the city of Mumbai. Remember how the civic body had, asked for an extension last week, and they had promised to the citizens of Mumbai that they will repair and fill all the potholes by 26th of August, but that clearly doesn't seem to be the case anymore, because as per the latest statistics, what BMC claims is that 200 potholes are yet to be repaired in the city of Mumbai. In fact, they also tell us that on 26th and 27th of August, if there is a dry spell in the city, then they could there's a possibility that they could finish all the filling and repairing of the pothole work across the city. But there are certain challenges that they tell us on ground that the civic body face, and why basically, the civic body keeps on extending the deadline after deadline. They tell us that the first and foremost reason is lack of manpower. They tell us that after the BMC Commissioner Ajoy Mehta, had ordered that all the workers will have to work double shift. Post that, almost 50% of the workers refused to work. They did not come to, do any sort of repair work and, to fill the potholes. So that is why BMC is going to ask for an extension, and to give a solution to this, they are going to incentivize the workers, is what BMC officials told Magic Bricks Now. In fact, another thing that BMC officials told us is that, basically all the potholes that they have repaired till now, if there's a heavy monsoon, then those potholes reappear and, come up once again. So that's the biggest challenge that they are facing. And they also tell us that they are working on a new technology right now, but that technology will be implemented only next monsoon and not this monsoon. Lastly, civic officials tell us that, there's one last deadline that they are aiming to implement, is that they will repair all the potholes and fill all the potholes before Ganpati, which is September 5th this year. This is Disha Shah reporting for Magic Bricks Now.
How many more lives will need to be lost before the government wakes up?
It's the administration at the fault. It is the administration, those
You
who
mean the
have
bureaucrats,
to take
the IAS
responsibility
officers?
of Absolutely.
People are dying.
They've been elected for a 5-year term. If they are still saying that, look, the previous government is responsible, then I think they don't understand the concept of democracy. How much more time do they want?
Now, it is a job of the current government to catch hold of the governing authority and get the work done.
The one person, the buck stops at Mr. Devendra Fadnavis. This is his responsibility. He has to come forward. Will you communicate this to Mr. Devendra Fadnavis?
You can send in any of your colleague along with me tomorrow itself, and I'll positively see to it that the Honorable CM himself will give you an interview on the same issue.
Are you watching The Urban Debate? Only on Magic Bricks Now.
In probably a first of its kind order, a group of residents in Mumbai will vote to decide who will redevelop their building. The High Court has asked residents to opt for a secret ballot after they had waited nearly 10 years for the BMC assigned developer to redevelop their homes. Suyesha Samant gets us this special report.
Tanaji Bagal and his neighbours have been waiting nearly 10 years for their homes. These 450 families who lived in central Mumbai's Parel area were asked to leave their homes because of the precarious condition of their building. Mumbai's civic body BMC, which had moved them out, had promised them their homes in 4 years. Nearly 450 families were moved to transit camps by the authorities in 2003.
Corporation had initially agreed and allowed MHADA to develop, but MHADA could not develop. Hence, it invited bids in the year 2002. And after the bids were finalized, Vignaharta was appointed a developer. Now, there is a clause in that tender document which says that the developer has to complete the project in a stipulated time. That was 3 years. And 1 year could be given an extension in case of any events which are not in the control of the builder. However, there is no development and there is no further sign of anything happening.
The project in question is spread over 20,000 square meters near the Tata Memorial Hospital in Mumbai. The developer was contracted by BMC to use half the built-up area, about 32,500 square feet, to build homes for the residents. Vignaharta developers could construct and sell the remaining built-up area as it deemed fit. However, work has not progressed beyond the basic structure.
उसके वजह से गए 2014 में जनरल मीटिंग जो एनुअल मीटिंग हो गया था सब टेनेंट का, वो टेनेंट 500 लोग उधर उपस्थित थे, उसमें रिजोल्यूशन पास हो गया कि ये बिल्डर को निकाल डालो करके। बीएमसी ने 2014 नवंबर में उसका टर्मिनेशन किया, नोटिस दिया। वो 3 महीने के बाद वो मार्च में कोर्ट में गया।
300 लोगों का ट्रांजिट कैंप बन गया। वो लोग को इतनी तकलीफ है, पानी की तकलीफ है, जाने आने की तकलीफ है। कोई बीमार रहेगा तो टैक्सी आ नहीं सकती है।
जो एग्रीमेंट के हिसाब से हमको 4 से 30 स्क्वायर फुट जो जगह देना है, उसके बदले वो अभी 411 देना चाहते हैं। वो हमें किसी को भी हमें पसंद नहीं है और इसके लिए हमारी नामंजूरी है।
The court directed BMC to allow residents to choose whether they want to continue with the same developer. This will be done via a secret ballot this weekend. It will be conducted under the supervision of 3 court-appointed BMC officers and would be video recorded as well. BMC will also have to issue fresh tenders. The residents are now waiting for Sunday, when they will finally be able to have their say over their homes. This is Suesha Sawant for Magic Bricks Now.
1/3 of India is flooded. Floods this monsoon has left over 300 dead in Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. Parts of Assam, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan have been left inundated. It has been over 2 weeks since the flood, which has been affected over 31 lakh people. What is surprising is that despite such a massive disaster, floods in India have failed to make the headlines. The centre seems to be maintaining a stoic, calibrated silence apart from the occasional tweets and aerial surveys. Here is a special report.
Stranded and left to fend for themselves. Major parts of Bihar inundated, barely able to cope up with nature's wrath. So far, over 37 deaths have been reported in the past few weeks, and as per latest reports, 1,115 villages are affected, with 23 lakh people fearing the worst. While these people still wait for rescue operations to reach them, what came their way was a cruel joke from a leader who they voted to power.
ये झारखंड और बीजेपी का राज जो फंस रहा था अभी, ये एकाएक बिना खबर के पानी लोग छोड़ा है. हम लोग बोल नहीं रहे थे, अभी बोलना पड़ेगा.
The flood has exposed how the government machinery has completely failed. The situation only gets worse in neighbouring Uttar Pradesh. This monsoon, over 53 deaths have been reported from Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav's state.
हमारे लोग का घर डूब गया. ठीक, हम लोग यहाँ पर आए हैं महर भट्टाचार्य स्कूल में. व्यवस्था भी खाने की ठीक से नहीं है. बच्चे सब भूखे मर जाते हैं. खाना पीना 25 पैकेट आ रहा है. 70-80 जने के बीच में 25 पैकेट आ रहा है. लड़कन भरे के बांट देते गए.
बूढ़ा में हम पीछे बूढ़ी रहा है. हमारा के घर में इतना पानी हो गया. चलिए हमारा का घर बूढ़ा था, एकदम से बीच धारा में है.
यहाँ कुछ ये लोग रहते हैं इस पार. यहाँ कोई व्यवस्था हो नहीं. नाव केवल हम 2-3 दिन लगा के सब उतरवाए. सरकारी 2 नाव आई हैं और स्कूल में व्यवस्था है. फिर भी वहाँ कोई इनका लोग का सुचारू रूप से व्यवस्था है. अधिकारी अभी तक तो कोई नहीं आया यहाँ गाँव में.
Hell hath no fury. Even the Prime Minister's constituency Varanasi not spared. The mighty Ganga is in spate in Varanasi. At the city's famous Assi Ghat, water had climbed by as much as 80 feet this Janmashtami. People are now looking up to the government to rescue them from this massive disaster. While both Chief Minister Nitish Kumar was seen conducting an aerial survey in Madhya Pradesh, Chief Minister Shivraj Chauhan has been criticized by unorthodox approach to conduct an inspection in his flood-affected state.
बाढ़ पीड़ित लोगों को मदद करने आए हैं, क्योंकि कोई और कर ही नहीं रहा. सरकार आ ही नहीं रही यहाँ.
हम लोग यहाँ पर आए क्योंकि बाढ़ का पानी मुसलसल बढ़ता जा रहा है और यहाँ पास कोई भी गवर्नमेंट के ऑफिशियल्स आ नहीं रहे हैं. तो हम लोग यहाँ पर दवा और जो भी ज़रूरी सामान है खाने पीने का जैसे और पानी, तो हम लोग यहाँ लोगों को मुहैया कराने आए क्योंकि वो सब मुसीबत में यहाँ कैंप में हैं.
जो बचे हैं यहाँ पे बाढ़ में उनकी मदद करने आए हैं, क्योंकि यहाँ पर हम लोग देख रहे हैं कोई भी जो है गवर्नमेंट का अधिकारी कोई भी नहीं आ रहा है.
प्रशासन के द्वारा कोई मदद नहीं की जा रही है. यहाँ पर 12-12 फीट पानी घुसे हुए हैं घरों में. लोगों के जो घर हैं वो अपनी छतों पर शरण लिए हुए हैं और यहाँ खाने से, दवा से और किसी भी तरह की कोई मदद यहाँ नहीं पहुँच रही है.
The only heroes of this gigantic crisis are the unsung heroes from National Disaster Response Force. As many as 21 NDRF teams have been pressed to service in Bihar, while 19 NDRF sorties are working round the clock in flood-ravaged Uttar Pradesh. While stranded citizens look up to the government, experts say these floods are not some unpredictable act of God, but a man-made disaster that was waiting to happen. Bureau Report, Magic Bricks Now.
And to take the story further, we have Mr. Vijay Sinha, who is an NDRF commandant, joining us on the phone line. Mr. Sinha, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here on the Property News and Magic Bricks Now. Sir, tell us about the latest condition in Bihar. Is the situation under control now?
Yeah, definitely. First of all, I would like to convey my good evening to everyone. And the situation is under control. And we are doing our best over there. whatever is being asked.
All right, so as the visuals that is in front of you can portray those are devastating images, and for people over there, it's the unsung heroes of NDRF, National Disaster Relief Force, who have been rescuing people over there, but both the central and state governments not been of much help so far. Away from that and on to Karnataka, where the Chief Secretary of State Arvind Jadhav is facing allegations of land grabbing in his mother's name. His 85-year-old mother allegedly owns 16 acres of land in Hegganahalli village and is a certified realtor. Her name is allegedly present in the list of realtors approved by the Bangalore Metropolitan Region Development Authority, or BMPDA, to develop layouts on the outskirts of the city. However, according to the Chief Secretary, there are no illegalities in the land bought by his mother. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has asked for a report on these allegations against Arvind Jadhav following the media reports on the same. Moving on, while Indian cities are grappling with issues such as taxi and auto unions strike, Singapore test drove its driverless taxi on Thursday. These self-driven cars are the brainchild of Nutonomy, a US-based startup company that develops software for such cars. Now, Nutonomy is the first company that the Singapore government allowed to test the self-driven cars on the streets of Singapore. The company invited a select group of people to download its app and allowed them to ride free in the taxi in western regions of Singapore. The company used electric vehicles from Renault and Mitsubishi for that test drive. An engineer sitting behind the wheel was monitoring the system during the test drive and take control if in case needed. The test drive was conducted with the launch of this service expected in the year 2018. Now let's take a detour from all of that and from civic issues and etc. and delve deep into the world of extravagance. The first of its kind on Times Network. We let you witness luxurious brands and products like never before. Here's presenting Luxury Time.
Private jets, presidential suites, fancy cars, exquisite jewelry. Few can deny the seductive power of luxury. Hello and welcome to Luxury Time. I'm Lisa Mangaldas, and over this brand new series, I'm going to provide an insider's view into the best of the luxury industry.
In the very first season of Luxury Time, we bring you a selection of the most luxurious products and experiences available in the country. From lavish hotels to extravagant watches, from decadent food to dazzling diamonds. Prepare to delight in all of life's greatest pleasures.
The luxury is still at its most nascent stage in India, but it's got a long way more to go. I think we're just at the tip of the iceberg right now.
I may make the same button, but I can't repeat this exact piece. The lining will be different, the button may be different, the leaves on the button embroidery may be different. But yeah, that's why it's luxurious, and that's what really spells luxury.
When you see the sarees, you'll see some of them which were like the coins. Then you have the flowers and the combination of silver and gold, which is very unusual.
Luxury officially has a new address.
Moving on to some news on interiors, then our interior designer this week, Rohit Bhoite, gives you tips for decor and how to invest in multifunctional furniture. Take a look.
Center table is a very functional piece in the living room. It has to house a lot of stuff on it in terms of remote controls, magazines and artifacts. So it always is a conversation starter.
Yeah.
So it is very important to understand the decor and then to design a centerpiece with it.
Okay.
So to make the aspect clutter-free, what you need to do is have some hidden compartments or lids which open up and stuff can go inside.
Yeah.
So when you shut it, it looks completely like a piece on its own.
What are the basics that one needs to keep in mind when they go ahead to buy a center table or any table for that matter for the house?
So the first thing, the center table should be of the perfect size. So it is accessible from all the sofas.
Okay.
So otherwise what would happen is you will need a side table for every other sofa also.
Yeah, true. So tell me, what are the different range of materials one can actually play around with tables?
So materials such as glass, marble, metal, these can be used. Avoid something which will absorb stuff. For example, fabric,
Okay.
untreated wood,
All right.
then any other material which absorbs. Certain stones are very porous.
Well, thank you for all that information, Rohit, on tables. I'm sure with all that information, one can actually go ahead and make a right choice. And now it's time for us to address our viewers' queries. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, please.
Let's start with the first question. Kareem from Mumbai says, I bought tainted and colored glasses while I was traveling. How do I use them?
So what Kareem needs to do is, glass can be easily used with wood to form partitions, to
Okay.
form tabletops. But as he said, it's stained and colored glass.
Yeah.
The most artistic or the most dramatic would be using it for doors, because once the light falls through it, you get a lot of dramatic effects with it. Windows or doors, wherever the light is going to pass through, would be the best option for him to use those glasses which he's collected.
Let's move on to the next question. Padmini from New Delhi says, I'm a lawyer and my new office, which is 750 square feet, is almost complete. How can I have a casual and informal vibe for my office?
First is avoid the typical cubicle environment.
Okay.
So do not have any partitions or any cubicles. Keep it a very open platform. So
Okay.
that's a very informal approach towards new office design.
Yeah.
Then mix it up with some colors. Like either she could go one wall a brighter color. And with lighting, right now the industrial lights are really in. So use few industrial hanging lights here and there.
And with that, it's a wrap here on this edition of the Property News and Magic Bricks Now. Thank you so much for watching. This is Krishna Kumar signing off.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at magicbricksnow. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/magicbricksnow.